Oscars. First up, we have Saurise Ronan and the awkward mistake. As a journalist, it's your job to get facts as correct as possible, but sometimes during certain circumstances, it's easy to get lost in the sauce. At the 2016 Oscars red carpet, an ABC News journalist was speaking to Saurise when she had stopped to wave at someone, who happened to be writer Nick Hornby, who she had worked with for the film Brooklyn. She was nominated for Best Actress for her role in said film. The reporter confused the small interaction as something between family members and assumed Hornby was her father. When asked, Ronan obviously confirmed that he was the writer and not her father. It was a mild slip-up and not a big deal because, things like that happen. Honestly, this taught me to never assume and stick to my script or whatever to avoid any awkward run-ins like that. Next in line, we have Scarlett Johansson and Ryan Seacrest. Johansson was being interviewed at the 2017 Oscars red carpet when she was asked about her shoes. To clarify, Seacrest was asking if she had worn the heels she was wearing to the Oscars rehearsals that they have for the presenters. She responded with, "What a ridiculous question to ask," as it seemed to be so random for her. But Seacrest explained that he was asking because he had heard that fellow actress Halle Berry had done it. She accepted his response and continued to explain that she did not wear the heels, opting for comfortability. Up next is interviewer Jess Cagle calling Hidden Figures by the wrong name. It was around this time in 2017 when people were calling Hidden Figures Hidden Fences. The mistake started back at the Golden Globes when the movie Hidden Figures and Fences, very separate movies, were said in the same sentence, and that's how the mistake was made. The internet was already preparing themselves for reporters to make that same mistakes at the Oscars, and they were right. Editor-in-chief of People magazine, Jess Cagle messed it up when trying to compliment it as extraordinary alongside the film Moonlight, and was quick to correct himself, but it happened, and Twitter was there for it. Coming up is Tiffany Haddish's ultimate fangirl moment. So imagine you're at the Oscars and your idol is there. What do? Would you wait until they're within your closest vicinity, or do you seek them out? Tiffany Haddish was a woman on a mission as she wanted to greet Meryl Streep. In a video taken at the 90th Academy Awards, you can see Haddish waiting outside of the rope that was meant for the designated red carpet. With Streep just meters away, she probably contemplated her options before just going for it and climbing over the rope. I forgot to mention she was in a beautiful long gown as well, so to be able to witness that in real time must have been hilarious. Streep was seemingly preoccupied as Haddish steps in and literally blocks her path. The two make eye contact and they hug while exchanging words that are hard to make out. But nevertheless, Haddish got to have her chance with Streep and it was everything. I know some people would think this to be rude, which is why I included it, but hey, you do it too. Next on the list is Sacha Baron Cohen and his urn. Cohen arrived at the red carpet dressed head to toe in his costume for his character, Admiral General Aladdin. He arrived with staff personnel, 2 women who were obviously paid actors, and a cremation urn. Aside from his outfit, he was also completely in character too. That method acting really helping him out here. He was being interviewed by Ryan Seacrest, and Seacrest played into the bit as well. As he explained why he brought the urn, he inconspicuously lifted it and let it spill all over Seacrest. Clearly, it was a setup, probably some sort of marketing strategy from the movie's team. Up next again is Tiffany Haddish and her interview. She looked stunning in her custom-made green gown when a reporter asked if she had done a costume change. Perhaps slightly put off by the term costume, Haddish goes off to explain that it was not a costume but a luxury Dolce & Gabbana gown. The reality of the awkwardness sets in as the reporter tries to stealthily move on, but Haddish wants to reaffirm herself. She continues saying, "It's called an evening gown, darling." Watching the clip, you can tell the reporter regrets everything as she continues to play cool and admits defeat, but the damage was done and Haddish was not. She explained that the dress was paid by herself and that was what success looked like. Coming up is Zuri Hall blanking out at the red carpet. Like I said, the hustle and bustle of these types of events are the partial reasons why reporters tend to mess things up. And it's fine, we're all human here, which is why I think E! News reporter Zuri Hall can back me up on that statement. She arrived at the 2017 Oscars red carpet in a beautiful sheer and feathery dress. Perhaps it was so beautiful she ended up forgetting who actually designed it. Is it disrespectful to forget the name of the designer? I think it's an honest mistake, but that doesn't take away the minor embarrassment she probably felt while that was televised across national television. Up next, we have Ashley Graham's interview with Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet. Momoa and his wife showed up to the 2019 Oscar Awards when it happened. When they were interviewed by model Ashley Graham, she requested that he give her a haka move. Haka refers to the many ceremonial dances from the Maori people. Momoa is immediately hesitant, and it doesn't go unnoticed by Graham as she eggs him on to do it. Bonet is clearly unimpressed, offering some type of explanation that you can't hear what she's saying. But her husband cuts it off and gives Graham what she wants. The internet was not happy with this exchange. One user called her corny, while many others said that she was disrespecting his culture as he is from Hawaii and not New Zealand, where the Maori culture originates. At least he's familiar with some of the customs though, as he explained in a completely separate interview unrelated to the Oscars that his family's roots go back and forth from Hawaii and New Zealand at some point. Regardless, Graham pushing him to do that wasn't a good look for her. Coming up are the South Park creators and their red carpet looks. Creators of the hit cartoon comedy, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, confessed to everything that went down that evening in the year 2000. To put it shortly, they did not take anything seriously, despite Parker being nominated for an award. The original plan was to dress up in duck costumes, but out of fear they would be denied entry, they went for dresses to blend in with everyone else. So that's what they did. They dressed up in their dresses that were nods off to outfits Jennifer Lopez and Gwyneth Paltrow had worn previously, and to top it all off, were also extremely under the influence. They explained even stepping out of the vehicle was an experience due to their incapacitated state. They managed to get through the carpet and the interviews. They were smart and had it all planned out, vowing that they don't acknowledge the dresses, and if they were asked to divert and avoid it at all costs. Next up is Dakota Johnson, low-key snapping at her mom. During the 2015 Academy Awards, Johnson brings her mother, fellow actress Melanie Griffith, as her date. Knowing Johnson and her collected bluntness, what happened shouldn't come off as surprising. While they were being interviewed together, Griffith was asked if she had watched her daughter's movie. She declined, saying it would be strange. The movie in question? 50 Shades of Grey, and we're all aware of the nature of that film. So to not want to see it for those reasons as a mother, it's totally understandable. Johnson cuts in and said it would be fine and she'll watch it one day. After all, it's just a movie since everything is fictional. When the reporter accepts this answer and reaffirms how well her daughter did in the film, Griffith continues and says, well, she's a really good actress, I don't need to see it to know how good she is, which sparked mild irritation from Johnson, who gets a little snappy and says she doesn't need to watch it. It's kind of awkward for the reporter as she comes in to soothe the awkward family interaction. While it might have been awkward to watch it unfold, mother-daughter bickering is more common than you'd think.
Coming at number 10 today, we have the Kardashians. Being the most powerful family in Hollywood comes with a price, as not only are the Kardashian-Jenners' lives filled with drama and ongoing tensions, but it seems like when you get on the family's bad side, they will do everything in their power to end your career. Just look at Jordyn Woods for an example. For the longest time, she was Kylie Jenner's best friend, and they all even took Jordyn in as family. But after news broke that she allegedly made out with Tristan Thompson after he gave her a quick peck on the lips before leaving a party, the family couldn't believe it at first given how close Jordyn was with them for years. But after multiple sources confirmed the betrayal, the family would mock Woods, ruin her career, and Kylie even kicked her out of her guest home. And they don't just do it with their friends, they will also do it to strong females in power like Taylor Swift, as Kim went on to manipulate phone calls to make it look like Taylor agreed to Kanye's song Famous. This family just has all sorts of bad energy that you should just avoid altogether. Number 9, the Biebers. So tapping into all the recent Hailey Bieber and Selena Gomez drama, it appears as if Justin Bieber has finally entered the chat, as he has thrown some major shade at his ex, which proves that he and his wife aren't exactly the nicest people in Hollywood. The singer, who threw his 29th birthday over the weekend, could be seen celebrating with his nearest and dearest, but one person who for sure wasn't on the guest guest list was indeed Selena Gomez. Although he did appear, however, to reference the actress with the party favors he handed out that day. Guests who attended the party were given a silver souvenir that had the words "I'm so thankful that I didn't end up with what I thought I wanted" engraved into the side. While Justin did not address the meaning behind the gift, fans were quick to assume that it was definitely about his ex, and even branded the singer as being petty, as the gift pretty much was screaming, "Hey guys, look at me, I'm still living in the past, and I'm just as miserable as my wife, and that's why we deserve each other." Also, admitting to your wife that she was your second choice on your birthday had to hurt, but then again, maybe he meant to do it on purpose so she knew. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming in number 8, we have the Smiths. So back in 2016, the New York Post ran a scathing opinion piece about the Smiths' children titled, "Any reasonable parent would be ashamed of Will Smith's kids." And while it wasn't the only story to criticize the power couple's parenting at the time, it was probably one of the most insulting ones. With the article stating that Will and Jada were horrible parents, and the article failed to mention how messed up the family could be at times thanks to Jada's odd choices that she makes her family follow. Let's not forget that they allegedly opened a secret Scientology school in one of their own homes, as in 2017 they would be exposed by former Scientologist Lee Ramini, who claimed that Jada has been a long-time down low member. Now both Will and Jada have denied that they have any sorts of affiliation with the controversial religion, and that they were never swingers, but when it was revealed that the couple was in fact in an open marriage, we knew right away that there had to be truth behind their Scientology affiliation. And what makes matters even worse is that they even sent their own children to the short-lived school that was widely believed to be a center for Scientology, called New Village Leadership Academy, which opened in 2008 before quietly shutting down 5 years later, and Will and Jada were even pictured among high top people in Scientology within that school. Number 7, the Markles plus Harry. Prior to Meghan Markle entering into the royal family, she was known to be pretty problematic, but it's clear that the star just doesn't really understand what family means, as she created a pretty dysfunctional one for herself while she ruined her husband's relationship to his family in the process. And it makes you wonder when the two are going to stop bashing their families and put all their drama aside. But even celebrities are starting to claim that they haven't had such warm conversations with the couple, as Rebel Wilson once revealed on Watch What Happens Live that Meghan wasn't so cool with her when both of their conversations got ultimately awkward, as Meghan wasn't as naturally warm as she was trying to paint herself to be. But we already knew this, because let's not forget the royal staff said they treated them so bad, some even had to quit being members of the staff. But it just seems at this point that the couple's trying to rebrand their image and grow their family, but they just keep making more mistakes in the process. Number 6, the Hiltons. There's no doubt that the Hiltons are a very successful family, but on the other hand, they also have so much drama as they do money. For instance, Paris Hilton is no stranger to the spotlight, and since she's been in it, she hasn't always made the best decision, and even her grandfather believes that she may have had a negative impact on the family's reputation. I mean, he's really not wrong to make that statement, as she has bullied half of Hollywood. Her outrageous partying has been spread across the tabloids since she entered into the spotlight, and because of it, her inheritance from her grandfather has been lowered significantly due to the fact that he doesn't approve of some of the things she has done. But to be honest, this family has been associated with questionable behavior for as long as time. Not only that, but even Paris's mother advised her daughters to marry not for love, but to marry for money. And she's even started to advise her granddaughters to do the same thing, which is actually kind of disgusting, because for one, money doesn't buy you happiness, and for two, how do you expect men to love them when they're just going after their pockets? Number 5, the Spears. When I say the Spears family, I mean everyone who isn't Britney Spears, because what this family did to her is truly disturbing, and the star is traumatized by it to this day. Her family members, like her little sister Jamie Lynn Spears, have claimed that it's been really hard growing up in Britney's shadow, and it caused Britney to completely lose her cool and go off on her family members to say, "Are we really going to say it was hard being my sister? Really?" The star even went on to note that she's so far beyond done with her family that all she wants to do is spit in their faces and trash them on Instagram, and I don't blame her. She then went on to tell her fans, "They hurt me and nothing was done except that I lost 15 years of my life. My family owning my name. Subjected to an angel while my dad has 5 women on his tour bus drinking that cup of coffee. So cool and smooth. It must have been nice owning my name for 15 years. Not only that, her family has also used Britney's money to treat themselves to spa days where Britney was left out of, and the star couldn't even treat herself to a cup of coffee. Number 4. The Lohans. It's clear that Lindsay Lohan has never had a peaceful, normal life, and much of this reason is because her relationship with her parents has been pretty confusing not only to her, but also to the public, as Lindsay's upbringing has had her in a turbulent situation as she's been caught in the middle of her parents' divorce and feuds. And in the process, her parents haven't exactly been so kind, as her dad has done nothing but embarrass her. From telling the media that his daughter needed help and that she's in a fragile state, to releasing a phone call he taped in an attempt to prove his point, to disapprove those around Lindsay who were saying she was fine. He even convinced Lindsay at one point that she was crazy when there was nothing really wrong with her. In one voicemail he sold to the press, Lindsay could be heard crying about how no one in her family respected her and that it was never really about her, and the people around her say that they care about her when they really don't. And honestly, that was just really sad to see that happen to her. Number 3. The Carters. If it wasn't for the show House of Carters, we may have never seen how off this family was when it came to their feuds, especially when it came to the relationship of Nick and Aaron Carter. Nevertheless, the show left little to imagination, as Aaron faced a run-in with the law and slowly started to drift away from fame, as he would then expose that there was a lot more family drama when the cameras were off. At one point, the family had such a public altercation, and due to the nature of the events, Nick and his sister Angel even ended up seeking a restraining order against their younger brother Aaron. In the process, Aaron's behavior grew alarmingly to the point he even confessed he was having not the kindest thoughts about his family. While the star was begging his family to listen and help him get the help he needed, all they chose to do was block him out, and in the end, Aaron would be left saddened by what his family did to him, and that their lies truly broke his heart. Number 2. The Meesters. It would be a shame to say that Gossip Girl star Leighton Meesters should make this list today, as she's truly kind and sweet in real life, but her mother Constance, on the other hand, deserves to be on this list. So back in the day, the two actually became estranged following a heated legal battle involving allegations over the misuse of the actress's money. And then when the two finally got to court, they even debated whether or not her mother deserved compensation for the role she played when it came to Leighton's acting career, which is truly disturbing because Leighton worked really hard to get to where she is today in her acting, and she probably in the process already treated her mom to all the luxuries in the world. Although the case ended in 2011, as the actress prevailed with a default judgment against her mom, it doesn't mean that it has exactly been smooth sailing for these two since. But honestly, parents need to stop thinking they can just live off their children's fortunes. Number 1. The Winter Workmans. In 2017, Modern Family star Ariel Winter would open up about her estranged relationship with her mother, Crystal Workman, and with it, we were all shocked at the fact a mother could treat her child the way Crystal treated Ariel. So after Ariel legally emancipated herself from her mother at the age of 14, she would reveal that the two haven't spoken to each other in nearly a decade. As Ariel claimed, there was a lot of physical and emotional altercations that happened when she had a relationship with her mother. During court, eventually Ariel's mother would come forward with all the allegations to admit to it to rekindle her relationship that she had with Ariel despite their terrible past. But it doesn't seem like Ariel is exactly ready to rekindle her relationship with her mother, and I don't blame her, because to be put on strict diets and forced to stay out late at parties and to dress in an older way so men would pay attention to her isn't exactly the type of thing a parent should do. Starting off our list today at number 10, we have Tom Cruise. When it comes to Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes' relationship, it makes a lot more sense than the obsessed tabloids diving in to learn about why the couple truly went their separate ways. Even though the press breathlessly covered every aspect of the pair's relationship, a lot of people still have no idea what led to their split. But if you follow Tom's admission about Scientology and his role within the controversial religion, then you might be one of those people that concluded his religion was solely responsible for their split. However, in reality, it seems naive since their relationship was far more complicated to believe that the couple split for that very reason, but was saying that it did play a major role in the divorce since Katie had to make it clear that her daughter needed to be protected from Tom in the church. Not to mention, even Tom was able to get it approved that Katie couldn't date for 5 years years following the couple's divorce so it wouldn't embarrass him, which proves that he was a little controlling in his marriage with Katie. Number 9. Amber Heard. After just a year of being married, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard would call it quits. And during this time, Amber would make some absurd comments about why she chose to leave Johnny, where she claimed their relationship was crumbling because of his heavy drinking, substance use, violence, and domestic abuse. While friends of Johnny leaped to the star's defense and called Amber a gold digger who was just fabricating all of those claims in order to squeeze as much money as she could from their brief union. While the whole world was beginning to choose to take Amber's side, many people should have really listened to Johnny's friends, as they were right, as Amber was really just a vindictive ex that wanted to ruin Johnny's career. Ultimately, however, though, during the pair's divorce, Johnny agreed to pay Amber $7 million, and Amber pledged to donate the money to charity, something Amber never ended up doing. Later, Johnny was then able to repair his reputation in Hollywood after he won his defamation case against Amber Heard and sued her for $15 million in the process. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Coming number 8, we have Angelina Jolie. While Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie first met on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, both were still very much married to other people. While Angelina was with Billy Bob Thornton, Brad was with Jennifer Aniston, and it started off to be one of the most scandalous relationships Hollywood has ever seen, and it soon morphed into one of Hollywood's most solid, stable marriages, despite frequent tabloid stories that started to say cracks were starting to form in their relationship. And those rumors turned out to be more true than we realized, as when the pair announced their plans to divorce back in September 2016, things immediately took an ugly turn as Angelina started to make huge accusations that claimed Brad had gotten physical with not just her but one of the couple's children during a fight on a private jet. While the accusations have been one giant spectacle, some have extended compassion to Jolie and her kids, while others have sided with Pitt as they have started to expose Angelina's dark past and painted her as a vindictive ex on a mission to ruin Brad's reputation the same way Amber Heard did to Johnny Depp. Number 7. Kris Jenner. 11 months after Bruce Jenner, who is now known as Caitlyn Jenner, and Kris announced their separation, they would soon head towards a divorce after being married to each other for over 25 years. The divorce would follow up with the tabloids claiming that Bruce was planning on transitioning. Those reports ended up being true, as the Olympic gold medalist soon re-emerged to the public as Caitlyn Jenner. While in the beginning Kris tried to play things off and make everybody believe that their split was amicable, that would all soon change after Caitlyn decided to publish a memoir called Secrets of My Life. And in this memoir, Caitlyn painted an unflattering portrait of Kris, which resulted in Kris bash Caitlyn publicly on her family's reality TV show, of course, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, where she said she's just literally started 3 families with 3 different people and effed everyone over. And it really makes you wonder if it was Caitlyn who effed Kris over, or was it Kris who effed Caitlyn over. Number 6. Kanye West. The epic split between Kim Kardashian and Kanye West was an epic mess. With its generous cast of plus ones, parenting responsibilities, brand fortunes, a family TV franchise, political and racial trolling, it became a perfect divorce for the Instagram age. Even though Kanye spent most of the divorce process trolling the Kardashians, the split appeared to be progressing smoothly enough. While no split is easy, Kanye definitely made things hard for Kim, especially when she was trying to move on with Pete Davidson. Kanye was so mad about Kim moving on that he even started to troll Pete, and it got to the point that Pete even had to take a step back from the relationship, split from Kim, so he could focus on his mental health. Kim then started to weigh in her options as Kanye started to hit the headlines for his very controversial comments amid his equally controversial presidential campaign. In the end, Kanye would lose around $2.1 billion of his assets, not to mention the billions of dollars that he lost from agencies and brands dropping him as a client. Number 5. Tiger Woods. When Tiger Woods was married to model Ellen Nordegren, he started to go viral after Tiger cheated on her. Headlines would soon start to claim that Ellen attacked the famous golfer with a golf club right after she learned about his infidelity, which led to subsequent revelations that he had been carrying on in numerous affairs with multiple women throughout their relationship. The ensuing scandal would then go on to cost the golfer millions of dollars as he lost endorsement deals, and then when the pair's divorce was finally settled, it would be reported that the golfer lost millions again, as he was then forced to fork out $100 million to pay his ex-wife. Not only did Tiger's career end, but he also lost between $5 to $12 billion, and then he had to spend 45 days in therapy. Number 4. Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen's ill-fated marriage to Denise Richards ended in 2005 with a seemingly endless parade of bombshells that came from Denise as she painted a picture to the public about what it was like actually to be married to Charlie Sheen. Denise's allegations against Charlie included violence, substances, X-rated videos, escorts, threats, and even more. Charlie then would not do him any favors, as he would then start to refer to Denise with such charming epithets, such as the time he called her a washed up piglet shame pile. Since the two got divorced, the exes have somewhat appeared to be friendly and other times not, as if you go back to January of 2016, Denise would sue Charlie for more than $1 million, claiming that he evicted Denise and her children from the home he purchased for her and their children, where she would also allege in court documents that he once even told their daughter Lola that she was a pig and told her that he was going to end her and Denise. Number 3. Heather Mills. When Paul McCartney's 6-year marriage to Heather Mills came to a bitter end in 2008, Heather would be quick to claim that the former Beatle member was constantly stoned throughout their marriage and that he ultimately held back her career. While Paul went on to deny Heather's accusations, like he should, Heather would soon start to paint herself to be a gold digger as she started to seek half of Paul's fortune, which was estimated at being hundreds of millions at the time. In the end, Heather was able to walk away with $50 million in settlement, as apparently there was no prenup. To say otherwise, since the divorce, Paul has admitted that marrying Heather was a prime contender for being the biggest mistake he's ever made in his life. And since the star has remarried, Heather every now and then continues to attempt to drag his name into the mud as she talks to the press, like the time she mentioned that the only reason Paul was still working with Kanye and Rihanna was due to the fact that the star was desperate to stay relevant. But he's always been relevant. Number 2. Jesse James. When Sandra Bullock was married to Jesse James, life couldn't have been any better for the actress, as she had just won her first Oscar and she was in the process of adopting her son David, all while she was happily married to motorcycle consumer and Discovery Channel host Jesse James. What appeared to be a solid union, however, all came crashing down when the tabloids started to reveal that Jesse and Sandra's relationship wasn't as perfect as we all thought. When the media outlets all over the world started to admit that Jesse had been cheating on the American sweetheart with a bevy of heavily tattooed biker type women, the marriage ended shortly after, and since the two have gone their separate ways, Jesse consistently describes himself as being the most hated man in the world, but honestly, now he's just become the most forgotten man in the world. And coming in number 1 today, we have Mary Harvey. So when comedian and TV host Steve Harvey, best known for his role in the game show Family Feud, filed for a divorce from his second wife, Mary Harvey. When their divorce was finally settled in 2005, with Mary receiving 3 of the couple's homes as well as $40,000 a month until 2009, the ugliness didn't seem to stop. Even after their divorce was finalized, as in 2013, Mary had to spend 20 days in the slammer for violating a confidentiality clause in the divorce agreement, and in spring of 2017 launched a $60 million lawsuit against her ex and accused the Family Feud host, among other things, as being a soul sucker. She went on to describe her life in the marriage as being a combination of torture, deprivation, and brainwashing. These attorneys then responded by dismissing her suit as meritless, frivolous, and completely false. Starting off our list today at number 10, we have Liam Hemsworth. Thanks to Miley Cyrus's new hit song Flowers, it's been number 1 on the Billboard for 3 weeks, and because the song is so popular, it resurfaced a couple of clips that shows Liam Hemsworth visibly cringing at his ex-wife Miley Cyrus on the red carpet during interviews. In one video, Miley could be seen twerking on Liam at a Vanity Fair Oscars after party in February of 2019. As the two were being interviewed, Liam then then backed away quickly and looked incredibly uncomfortable as she danced for the cameras. To which he responded by saying, "Don't do it, don't do it, you're scarring everyone on the red carpet." Miley then immediately stopped and glanced awkwardly at the camera. In another clip uploaded, the couple could be seen attending the Avengers Endgame premiere, and the singer tried to pose cheekily with her husband, and she made this move to lick his neck, and Liam was displeased and told Miley to behave for once. And when he went on to cling onto her waist, she seemed to be very annoyed at his gesture and pushed his hand away, which resulted in him walking away while she continued posing on her own. Number 9. Dakota Johnson. What was supposed to be a sweet mother and daughter moment during the Oscars red carpet show ended up becoming one of the night's most awkward interviews, when ABC host Laura Spencer asked the actress Melanie Griffith if she was going to see her daughter's racy movie 50 Shades of Grey. The actress would then quickly respond no before her daughter Dakota Johnson scowled and said, "Maybe one day." However, then her mom would respond by saying, "I don't think I can. I think it would be strange. Well, she's a good actress. I don't need to see that to know she's good." The subject was obviously still a sore subject and the sticking point between the pair, as Dakota then jumped into a pouting teenager for a moment before snapping at her mother by saying, "Alright, you don't have to see it, Jesus Christ." The uncomfortable exchange between the two then set social media on fire, inspiring some harsh criticism and some pretty serious tweets. However, near the end of the night, Melanie would opt to tell Dakota that she would watch the film just so she could smooth things over between her and her daughter. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming number 8, we have Shailene Woodley. So during most interviews, Shailene Woodley is always known for being really blunt when it comes to her answering questions, especially when the questions make her feel uncomfortable. During one incident on the red carpet, Shailene had a pretty awkward encounter that caused her to be dumbfounded when it came to the reporter's question. In the interview, the reporter looked at the actor and then out of nowhere asked her if she was hungry before noting that she herself was hungry. Shailene then reacted in a way that was pretty awkward and rude in the moment, as she looked at her interviewer like she was crazy and said, "Well, you should probably eat." I don't think any of us really blame Shailene in this situation for being rude, as it was such a weird question and comment to come from a reporter. Not to mention, there were so many questions that the reporter could have asked her, but she chose to ask the actor if she was hungry, because you aren't going to get a genuinely nice answer to that question. Number 7, Selena Gomez. During a red carpet interview in 2017 Billboard Woman in Music event, Selena would be asked about how Justin Bieber impacted the person she is today, and the singer and actor responded by being a little standoffish when she said, "I don't think anyone else cares. I think for me, what's been great is that I've been able to live the life I wanted for myself, and it doesn't always look the way people think it should. But it's not really my concern anymore. Look, my family is great, my health is great, I love deeply, and that's just who I am. I'm not really ashamed." While the actress claimed that no one really cared about her and Justin's relationship, the Twitter reactions would definitely prove otherwise to Selena's response, as one fan would say, "Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber will definitely last this time if they're both on the same page romantically." And then another fan would note, "So as dumb as this sounds, I'm so happy when I heard Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez are back together. It's that relationship I basically grew up with and I feel as if I'm invested in. My heart was so full when I heard the news. Even today, people are still fond on the idea that the former couple may cross paths yet again in the future, and it's gotten to the point that every time Justin is happy with another woman, his fans still chant Selena's name." Number 6, Jim Carrey. Back in 2017, Jim Carrey was clearly just really bored, so the comedian decided he would randomly show up to a New York red carpet event. While on the red carpet, he made his way to a reporter, and then he ended up telling her that the only reason he showed up to the event is because he was trying to find the most meaningless event he could attend. If the interview wouldn't get any more funnier due to his odd behavior, he then went on this really weird rant where he stated that icons and personalities don't really exist by saying, "I don't believe in icons, I don't believe in personalities. I believe that peace lies beyond personality, an invitation in disguise, beyond the red S on your chest that makes bullets bounce off. I believe that it's deeper than that. I believe believe we're a field of energy dancing for itself, and I don't care. He then turned into one of his comedic characters before walking away when he came to the conclusion to his rant and said, "We don't matter." Number 5. Kim Kardashian. Back in 2019, Kim Kardashian awkwardly interrupted her older sister during an interview on the E! People's Choice Awards red carpet. When E! anchor Juliana Rancic asked Kourtney Kardashian who designed her bra-bearing glittering suit, she began to say she didn't plan her answer in advance, but then she was cut off when Kim decided to lunge in front of her and start to hype their new fragrance collaboration by saying, "All that matters is that we're wearing KKW Diamond. We're all wearing that." She then went on to tell Kourtney, "I was saving you since you didn't know who you were wearing. That was my save." Kourtney then went on to correct Kim by saying, "No, it was Naeem Khan. I just didn't know how to pronounce it." Despite the awkward moment, Kourtney didn't appear to mind the publicity, but Kim didn't need to interrupt her sister's interview to support her new line, as the world was already talking about it. Number 4. Jennifer Lawrence. So back in 2012, Josh Hutcherson was in an interview on the red carpet for the Catching Fire press tour when Jennifer Lawrence thought it would be a good idea to punk her co-star while he was in mid-interview by asking him how his rash was doing. Later, Josh would then open up about the incident on the Late Night with Jimmy Fallon, and there he would reveal that Jennifer had this history of punking him, and while making rounds on the red carpet, he then admitted at one time mid-interview she breezed past him and asked him, "Hey Josh, how's the rash doing?" Josh then looked extremely embarrassed before he went on to note that Jennifer was actually really crazy. The reporter then went on to question Josh about the incident, and he said, "Oh, my rash is doing fantastic. Don't worry about that. I love Jennifer." The actor was obviously really uncomfortable with Jennifer's uncalled move, that he wanted to end the interview and opted to say, "I gotta go back to take care of the rash," before running away from his interview. Number 3. Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj is known for speaking her mind, so back in 2013, after she had a mouthful to say after a not-so-good interview with Access Hollywood's correspondent, Laura Saltman, the Anaconda rapper would then throw some serious shade at the reporter on the red carpet after Laura asked the rapper about her recent Twitter rant, which included catty words about fellow American Idol judge Mariah Carey, and she snapped back and refused to answer the question. When Laura asked, "Are you looking forward to the end of American Idol? Because I know there were Twitter comments you made today that caused quite a stir," Nicki would then respond by saying, "That question didn't even make sense, so if you want to insinuate what you're talking about, I'm not going to." Before Laura could even respond, Nicki would then roll her eyes, say goodnight, and walk away. In light of the diss, Saltman then decided to express her feelings in a blog posted to Access Hollywood's website, where she labeled Nicki as a mean girl and cyberbullying, perpetuating the problems of social media. Number 2. Amber Heard. Back in 2015, Amber would be captured giving her mom a stern lesson on the red carpet about the rules she has to follow as her mom joined her at a glitzy film premiere. At the time, Amber was still married to Johnny Depp, and she decided to bring her mother along for the ride at a screening of Johnny's new flick at the time, Black Mass, at Toronto's International Film Festival. Her proud mom then watched from the sidelines as Amber oozed in this striking black dress in front of the camera. However, the actress was less than impressed when she spotted her mom talking to a nearby cameraman. In a video captured, the star's mom could be seen in the video identifying herself to a man from Kiss 92.5, where she proudly gushed, saying she was Amber's mom. Amber then stormed towards her mother and interrupted the interview, and in the video you could see Amber's face. It was so stony that she may as well have been embarrassed by her mom in front of friends at a playground. She then quickly grabbed her mother, gave her a warning by saying never make eye contact. And coming in at number 1 today, we have Nicole Kidman. Nicole Kidman wasn't necessarily rude, but she did get a pretty funny response from Tom Hiddleston when she briefly interrupted him during an interview at the Golden Globes one year. Tom was in the middle of his interview talking to Liza Koshy about one of his shows, and Nicole decided to insert herself in between Tom and Liza and then quickly said, "That's enough talking." While Nicole was clearly just pulling Tom's leg, at first he was a bit taken back by Nicole's actions, and it did take him a bit to notice that Nicole was doing a quirky little bit. Once the actor realized Nicole was only joking, he then quickly joined in on the fun. He then conducted a quick impromptu moment in the interview with Nicole, and it was definitely a moment that was awkward for a second, but then everybody laughed it off.